So I don't know if you noticed, but the power port on the bottom is now red. I can just click on that. And there is a light, actually a light bar on the bottom of the display. For safety, please fasten your safety belt. Alright. And then it's booting up right now. So it is Android powered, so it'll take a minute to get fully booted up. Not as long as you would think, but it doesn't take too long. And now we are running. Date is a little off. It's probably because it's not connected to Wi-Fi yet. I think it's 4:28 in the morning. It's not, but that's because it's been powered off for a little while. So I'm not too worried about that point. I'm now actually looking at what I can do with this. AV HDMI in, so it'll actually play off of the AV ports or the HDMI. So if I click on that, it'll give me which one do I want to play off, the HDMI port or the actual RCAs that are up there. Also, phone link, I can actually send stuff from my phone. You can actually do things with both Android and iOS. Know that you are limited in what you can do, but that does have that capability. And I will probably show that here in a little bit, or we'll see what we can do. Photos, it'll be able to play off that USB port, SD card, or in-memory photos that you can see here that it actually currently has. So I can actually hit the home button here at the bottom, it'll go back to the home. Video is going to be the same thing as photo. It'll actually play videos that are off the USB, or, well, in this case, there's a video. Well, let's go back to that, actually. See if I can go to the list. So there's just the one, and that's in memory. If I click the folder, go back, so I can choose USB, SD card, or in memory there as well. So let's click back here. Let's click on that. Go back home. Music's going to be the same thing. It's going to be playable to play music. Now I can swipe across, and here's where I can get into the apps. Now, when I set this up originally, I did have to put in my Google account for the Google Play Store. I did that, and I was able to download more apps like HBO Max on here. It's Android. It's got Google Play, and I can download a lot of apps that I can do in here. So all of these are capable. All these are allow me to play directly off those services. And there's web browsers, so I can actually browse the internet if I so choose, if it has a connection to the internet. So that's the key, is making sure it actually has an internet connection if you're going to use these. Otherwise, you're going to be using these, right? And so that's probably why these come up prior as the priority, because, well, it's an in-vehicle display, so that doesn't mean you're going to have internet. But in the case you do, whether you're at a campground or something, or if you have a hotspot or your vehicle has Wi-Fi that it can share, there we go. We can actually play directly off the apps without going onto the phone. Now, that said, I have my phone, and rather than doing hotspot, I can actually just play the video on my phone and then use the HDMI adapter to plug into this display, and then use this display to play those when I'm not by Wi-Fi. So that's the nice thing about the capability of what this has. Phone link, like I said, you can do certain things, but it doesn't allow you to play everything. So if it's a protected video, there's a lot of cases, like on my iPhone at least, I can't push everything to this display wirelessly. I wish there was a way, but there isn't. But let's go through the phone link setup. So let's hit iOS, and let's just make sure your iOS device is on the same Wi-Fi or 5G network. Wipe your iOS device to touch the AirPlay button. So yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to hit continue. It's iOS, device name is RSC, and use AirPlay function on your thing. So I am on the same Wi-Fi, so this is going to require Wi-Fi. But if I go, let me open up a photo. Let's start with a photo. So I have a photo of my bike. I'm going to hit the share button. I'm going to swipe down to go to AirPlay, and I can see one that's called RSC. And now that RSC is going to push to RSC. It's going to bring it up here. And there's my phone. There's my bike. Now I can swipe to the next or swipe to the previous, right? Just like on here. It's just like if I'm on an Apple TV. Exact same thing. If I actually take and do a video, so this is a video of out front of my house. You can see it's playing the video just fine. Let's make sure that I have audio turned up and on. And this is a Jeep actually backing in and actually hitting a pole across the street from my house. So you can hear, there's not a whole lot of audio in this, just a little bump. But you can see it's working just fine. You know, if I play videos from my phone, it's going to work just fine. But it's when you get to the protected stuff that it's not going to work. It's button, go back. Good and fun. Something I wanted to show that I almost forgot to show you is settings. So in here, that's where we can actually get to the Wi-Fi capability and what we're going to connect to. If we want to connect to Bluetooth, what the Bluetooth devices, app links, things like that, where you can actually download the app that's necessary. There's an FM transmitter in here that I can actually send audio to your radio without actually having to plug it in. Display brightness and volume system right here. All this stuff and information on what model and firmware. Now, the first time I had this connected to Wi-Fi, it had a firmware update right away. I let it do its thing. And but yeah, that's the nice thing about this is there's a lot of capability. So I would connect to your home Wi-Fi right when you get it there and make sure it's running the latest firmware. Oh yes, and also if you actually hit this up button, it'll actually bring a screen up where you can actually adjust the frequency for your FM transmitter, your brightness and sound settings, as well as the color of this light that's on the bottom. And that's all through that up arrow right there. So I can change it to blue, and there we have a nice blue color. We can adjust any of that right there. So in the end, I am extremely pleased with this. I think it's a fantastic product, and this is not a full review because I don't have a whole lot of time with it yet, but I really liked how easy it was to set up, and I really like how much capability it has. HDMI in and HDMI out. That works great. It has the capability of doing composite video. It can be 12-volt wired to your vehicle. It can be plugged in at 120 volt with the adapter that came with it. And I can hardwire it to my vehicle, so I'm not taking up that cigarette plug. So it's got a lot of capability, a lot of really neat features to it. So far, I like the size of it. I like almost everything about it. And I can't wait to do my full review of it. That will be coming after our trip that we have next week, which my kids will be putting this display to the test. That said, though, like I said at the beginning, we're going to do another video now, and that's going to be installing it in the vehicle next door, my Tesla Model 3. Thank you for DD Audio for allowing me to do this video. It's a great product so far that I can see, and I can't wait to actually have a full review of it. But if you have any questions or comments, post those below. Subscribe, like the video, and share it if you can for me. And make sure you check out my next video, putting it into the Tesla Model 3. It doesn't mount like this. It mounts completely different with a little adapter that I made. So, thanks for watching. Catch you back here on another future video install right here on GeekSmart. We'll see you soon.